nature, sand, water, music.
Yo.
These are all things
that
occur in Donkey Kong Barrel Blast, the Nintendo.
Is that Jacktivision?
Yeah, it was me the whole time. I thought I would just give some information on some Donkey Kong Barrel Blast. You know, offer a few facts.
Ah! Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So, as you already know by the title of the video, spoiler alert, Jacktivision and I are going to be discussing some Nintendo facts that you may or may not have already known, and we wanted this video, now this video has been in the making for months, literally months. We started talking about this all the way back in like March or April, but after all the wait and all the time, this video is finally here on YouTube for you guys to enjoy. So, without further ado, these are, how many do we have each? So, without further ado, these are 10 Nintendo facts you probably didn't know. So this is a fact that I actually thought was pretty well known in the Nintendo community, but I guess it's not. Nintendo was actually founded in 1889, over 130 years ago. It's crazy. But they actually started out producing handmade Hanafuda playing cards. If you guys don't know exactly what I'm talking about, here's an image for you guys. So after venturing into various different lines of business in the 1960s and acquiring legal status as a public company that, to save time, I honestly don't really need to get into, Nintendo finally distributed their very first console/system in 1977, the Color TV game. A lot of people think the Nintendo Entertainment System was the very first console, but it was not.
Did you know that our friendly neighborhood Ant-Man, Paul Rudd himself, was in a Super Nintendo commercial?
When you decide to step up to this kind of power, this kind of challenge, this kind of flying, crashing, feeling, when you decide to get serious, there's only one place to come: the games of Super Nintendo. No one else creates this kind of experience, because no one else creates these kinds of games. Now you're playing with power, superpower.
Okay, this next one I also thought was well known, but I guess it's not, and honestly this is more of an assumption rather than a fact, but have you ever wondered what Nintendo actually means? Like what the name Nintendo means. The name Nintendo is assumed to mean leave luck to heaven, but there aren't any historical records to validate this, so it's more of an assumption rather than a fact, but still, you know, same thing.
Mario, and more importantly, Luigi. You gotta love the Super Mario Brothers, but did you know that Luigi's name is actually a pun? Stemming from the Japanese word Ruigi, which means similar, it kind of makes sense why his name became that, because, I mean, in the original Mario Brothers, which was his first appearance, Luigi was just a recolor of Mario. Of course, this change didn't really stick for forever, because Luigi and Mario are now completely different characters, but it's important to look back on Luigi's history as he was just, you know, player 2.
So we've all seen the Game Boy Advance, right? Well, did you know that there was a Game Boy Advance that survived the Gulf War of 1991? It actually still works and is sometimes displayed at the Nintendo store in New York with a plaque that says, "This Game Boy was damaged when barracks were bombed during the 1990-1991 Gulf War. It still works." Honestly, it just goes to show how durable Nintendo products really are, and I love that. I actually was lucky enough to be able to see this Game Boy in person whenever I visited New York last year for my graduation trip. It was really cool.
Luigi is not the only one with an interesting fact about his name, because did you know that in Donkey Kong, for the arcade cabinets and the NES, Mario used to go by Jumpman? But you probably already knew that, but what you may have not known is that before he was called Jumpman, at Nintendo headquarters and, you know, the Nintendo company, Mario went by the name Osan, which means middle-aged guy. You know, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Here's another really fun fact that I think is interesting, featuring your favorite boy, Kirby. Squish. Much like Jacktivision just mentioned with Super Mario and his first name being Jumpman, Kirby's first name was actually supposed to be Popopo. Kirby's original name and model were created as a placeholder for what would eventually be the very first Kirby game, Twinkle Popopo. And after a while, creator Masahiro Sakurai started to prefer Kirby's placeholder design over his original concept. He went on later to say that he envisioned Kirby to be a game for beginners, so I guess it works out.
We all love Lucas from Super Smash Bros., but did you know that he is actually the protagonist of a Japan-only sequel to Earthbound, which is the game that Ness is from? You probably already knew that, but what you may have not known is that before Mother 3 had a 2006 release on the Game Boy Advance, it was originally supposed to come out on the Nintendo 64 entitled Earthbound 64. We only know so little about this game because, you know, it was scrapped, but this is basically kind of what the game was going to look like if it were to come out. This was all test footage that came out, I believe, at the 1999 Space World event, and since then, no one has really heard from the game since. Well, that's kind of a lie, because every so often some information about Earthbound 64 will be brought to light. It's only a matter of time before we see, you know, a playable demo that's brought onto the internet. It would be interesting to see what happens to this game, because as more and more information gets brought to light, it's more of a wonder of what Mother 3 could have been rather than what it is right now. That being said, this is it. Mother 3. Play the game. Play the game.
Also, another really fun fact while we're on the topic of Kirby, did you know that he has his own anime? Yeah, basically Kirby crash lands on a planet ruled by King Dedede and has to battle all the dark forces that threaten the planet. Now, while the show does have the same characters, it exists separately from the game so that viewers unfamiliar with them can still follow along. So, I think it's pretty cool. There's also a Kirby manga that has a bunch of little adventures with Kirby and Dedede. It's really interesting. Anyway.
Get this! Here's another Mario fact. We all know of the original Super Mario Bros. Live-action film starring Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo as Mario and Luigi respectively. But did you know that that was not the first time Mario appeared on the big screen? In 1986, a year after the original Super Mario Bros. Came out, Japan came out with Super Mario Bros. The Great Mission to Rescue Princess Peach. It was a 61-minute long film which detailed Mario and Luigi going to save Princess Peach, but it was an anime. This was also the first time a video game received a theatrical film release, which, you know, makes sense because Super Mario Bros. Was insanely popular, though this animated film appeared only in Japan for a long time. Obviously, it's a Nintendo property and it's obscure, so Nintendo fans are trying to restore the original product and bring it into the 4K landscape of film. It's really exciting. I can't wait to see where it goes. But it's important to remember this because we do have another Mario movie coming out soon, and it has Chris Pratt as Mario and Charlie Day as Luigi, and oh my god, this is gonna be good. Oh god, what's gonna happen in this movie?
And there you have it, boys. These are our facts. So now, as a bonus, Jacktivision and I are going to be entering Shigeru Miyamoto Power Hour, where we're just gonna spit off random facts about Shigeru Miyamoto. 3, 2, 1.
It's the Shigeru Miyamoto Power Hour, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Shigeru Miyamoto Power Hour. Right now, I'm going to rapid fire 4 facts about Shigeru Miyamoto. Ready, set, go. Much like the late and great Stan Lee and the creator of the Marvel Comics, Shigeru Miyamoto wanted Mario to appear in every single creation he ever made. I'm, of course, referring to the Stan Lee cameos in, like, the MCU movies. But he originally wanted to have Mario appear in every single game he ever made. That obviously wasn't the case because he went on to make Pikmin and Zelda and, you know, non-Mario games.
Did you know that Shigeru Miyamoto originally wanted to draw comics? Yeah, when Miyamoto was younger, he loved manga and aspired to draw the Japanese comic. He gave it up because he thought that there were other manga artists that were on levels that he couldn't compete with. And then by the time he discovered video games, he thought that that genre as a whole just combined everything that he loved and appreciated when he was younger. So it's kind of cool considering.
Shigeru Miyamoto is actually a huge fan of George Lucas, and in case you don't know who George Lucas is, he is the creator of all the Star Wars films. It's fascinating to think that he, likes Star Wars. Isn't that crazy? Isn't it crazy for someone to like Star Wars? Wow!
Yeah, wow.
Another fact about Miyamoto is Miyamoto likes to guess the measurement of random objects. He's been known to look at objects and try to guess how long, wide, and tall they are, and he confirms his estimates by using a measuring tape that he carries around with him. Like, imagine if he was just randomly like, yo, I wonder if a Waluigi amiibo is 4 inches tall. Well, time to confirm. How long is this shelf? What's the size of a Nintendo Wii?
Did you know, I forgot the fact, did you know that Shigeru Miyamoto has never actually seen The Wizard? The movie that advertises Super Mario Bros. 3? A movie that advertises the game that he made. He's never actually seen the movie. Like, Miyamoto has never seen. Why not? I mean, the movie's not that good, but why not?
Another fact about Miyamoto is that he gets his inspiration from literally everywhere. Like, everybody knows the razor-tooth chomp chain, right? Well, did you know that it was actually modeled after a neighborhood dog that chased him around the neighborhood whenever he was little? Mans was terrified of that thing. But it goes even further than that. The water levels in Super Mario were actually a result as to his newfound devotion to swimming. And he got the idea for Nintendogs whenever he brought home a Shetland sheepdog. So I just think stuff like that is really cool. It's interesting to me.
Did you know that Miyamoto had almost no faith in Zelda? Let me rephrase. Miyamoto didn't think Zelda was going to do that well. After he developed Super Mario Bros., him and his team went on to make The Legend of Zelda, and he didn't think it was going to be that popular. That's not true, but Zelda was, he didn't think that Zelda was going to be that popular, which lucky it didn't turn out in his favor because, man, now we got some good games. We got so many good games.
Something else I find intriguing about Miyamoto is he doesn't even like Nintendo.
Yeah, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Could you repeat that? No, say it one more time. I just didn't catch what you said. Say it one more time.
I said Miyamoto doesn't even like Nintendo.
Okay, all right, because, according to my calculations, that is incorrect. Where did you find this information? It's wrong! My voice cracked. It's wrong!